Man, I have almost no silver, and I say this literally every day. It's the most annoying resource to farm as a new player. I am literally upgrading stuff every single day, trying out new champions, leveling them up as often as possible, and I'm just sinking all my gold in upgrading gear. I recently started switching gears from one character to another, specifically for a video that I did. But anyways, it's a massive gold sink every single day, right? We've already covered, and I'm sure you guys already know, that farming the campaign, what is it, stage 3 on level 12, is the best way of getting a bunch of silver real quick, right? That's literally what everybody does. If you're not doing it, you should definitely be doing, start to do so as soon as possible. But honestly, silver really just doesn't come often enough, right? You always need more of it, right? So today we're going to be checking out some tips which can increase the silver gain you can have straight up by just applying those in very specific scenarios, which will allow you to just do that. Get a little bit more silver here and there. But before we do any of that, go ahead and check it out Aptoide if you haven't done so yet. It's going to be allowing you to get massive bonuses that can go from extra 10% of any amount of money you're spending all the way up to extra 35% of that much money in the form of a cashback, which then in turn you can use to go ahead and buy more things for you without actually using your real money. You're getting more value for your money and saving up money in the future by allowing yourself to not use your actual money to do more purchases, right? All the bonuses are going to be going to your wallet, and if you go ahead and put my promo code in here, Midway5, which you cannot see here because of the camera, is going to be allowing you to get even more of that right away, right? We'll cover more of this in depth at the end of the video. For now, let's keep going. So again, as I already mentioned, first and foremost, if you're not yet farming stage 3 on level 12 of the campaign in Brutal, ideally you are missing out on insane amounts of silver. This is the best way to upgrade your champion's level, just to get them to be usable as food, as well as just getting a bunch of silver. Now the reason for that is, of course, it is worth the energy, right? It's like energy efficient, and you are also getting shields which sell for higher than literally anything else you can have here, right? So you're always selling whatever drops here. You're also getting free copies of other champions. You're getting silver baseline. You're also getting a lot of mysterious shards. Anyways, this is the best thing you can do to farm the campaign, get a lot of silver quick, and get your champions leveled up. If you want to join my team in Raid Shadow Legends, click the link in the description to get a free Narma, as well as Anax, Uugo, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. Here's what you need to do. First of all, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Then click the link in the description and register a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial, and then go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get a fresh start in Raid with a free Narma and 3 epic champs. Click on my link right now. But that is really entry level, right? We're going to be trying to go for something that maybe you do not know, right? So let's say you are participating in whatever tournament, right? You may say, for example, today we have the Fire Knight turn attack, right? So you are doing a bunch of dungeons just to get the free stuff, right? You can get this pretty easily if you put some energy into it and you're doing a decent enough level, right? Let's just say that's already done, right? So what you can do here at this point, if you, for example, still have a Dungeon Divers event, right? Some of those actually happen, which we don't have any going on right now. What you can do about that is, instead of farming that Dungeon Divers, which is going on right now or whatever, in the same dungeon you were already doing, you might as well and definitely want to be doing so in the Spider's Den, right? Now, the Spider's Den is decently hard to farm, but if you're able to go to a decent level where you have some speed, some consistency, and ideally you get to level 20, straight up, just level 20, you're going to be able to get so much more silver from farming this, rather than if you were farming whatever other dungeon, right? So you are doing a Dungeon Divers event, you want to be getting all the rewards, and you are going to be doing a dungeon anyways, you want to be doing the Spider. The reason for that is, as we already mentioned, the accessories are going to be selling for a whole lot more than normal gear. If we go ahead and check out what like a 5-star would give us, like a 5-star amulet, 45,000, what is it, a 5-star ring, 41,000, let's see, a 5-star banner, we have someone right here, 52.5 thousand for a 5-star banner, right? So if you can do stage 20, you are guaranteed at least a minimum of a 5-star. If you're gonna go anyway lower before that, so 4 stars are gonna be selling for quite a little bit more. In fact, I do automatically sell all my 4 stars, so that's why I don't have any here to show you, but that would still be getting you quite some money. In fact, I do have one right here. This is a 4-star amulet, only 20,000, right? That's what you want to be getting yourself to stage 20 as soon as possible, and I know it's not easy, but once you do so, the Spider's Den actually becomes a silver farm for you, and a massive one in that. Next up, and something you want to be doing specifically during clan versus clan, and that is going to actually give you millions of silver, is going to be to forge crappy gear that you do not need, right? So what's up? You do your, I don't know, faction wars, you're farming your Doom Towers, you're getting a lot of materials that you might think, well, eventually I'll be able to use them, right? Now, what if you don't even care about the sets that you're able to craft? Like, let's just say you are doing the faction wars, you get a lot of resilient gear pieces, right? You get all this stuff, the materials, the wheelstones and such and whatnot. You're likely never going to be using a resilience set because it only gives you 10% HP and 10% defense, right? Those are stats that you care about sort of, but not really, right? You wouldn't really use your artifact set for this. So what you want to be doing is crafting all of these, and I already done it, by the way. I had like 400 of these that I could craft. Craft all the things in bulk and just get rid of them, like insta-sell them, right? So let's go ahead and do that right here. What we can do is just quick craft the whole thing. It's going to be costing me some silver, but what I'm going to be doing is just select the filters over here, and I'm going to be clearing the selection. I don't want to keep anything, and it's going to give you a warning. Just go ahead and click continue, and that's it. Just click on craft, and literally everything is going to be crafted and instantly sold. Now, I crafted what was like 12 times. I got 268,000 silver from that. Take away the 35,000 that I spent, I already got quite a little bit over here, right? And remember, I could do like 400 of this, but I already did it, right? Because I needed some silver before. You're just getting rid of the crap that you're not going to be using anyways, and you are getting silver for it, right? It's a massive way of generating silver, which you might have thought otherwise sometimes in the past, but believe me, if you just got a lot of materials lying around and you do not care about those, go ahead and do it this way, right? You're also going to be able to get yourself a lot of clan versus clan points, and that is why I said go ahead and do this when the clan versus clan is active, because by hitting this button right here, I got myself 1,640 points for the clan versus clan, so straight up just for free. And I also got myself 1.6 million silver. Now, I did spend some of that also crafting, but overall I did gain an insane amount, and there we go, we are now up to 1.7 million. We did do that again for the higher tier here in the Defiant set, which was on the previous, the Forge Pass, and I didn't really care too much about it. I just sold it and got myself another 500,000, right? So we are easily generating a big bunch of silver from stuff that we do not really care about. Now, if there is sets which you do care about, you might want to be saving those. For example, I know fortitude sets, I'm probably not going to be using those anyways, right? I'm farming a lot of these, but maybe I'm going to be using the fatal sets because, well, attack and crit rate is usually quite decent, right? So I want to be keeping some of this. Now, you do not really need to keep everything, so maybe you want to go ahead and use some of the lower tier pieces, which you will be getting anyways a lot of, right? So I could go ahead and craft a lot of these and still generate a lot of money, but it's an insane trick. If you need a big boost of silver right away, go ahead and use your resources and craft stuff and just sell it instantly. I want to go ahead and get rid of all my fortitude gear. Let's go ahead and do it. I don't really care too much. 187,000 silver is going to be turned to 2.5 million right away. There we go. Now, another tip which might be insanely tedious but definitely worth doing is going to be to farm your masteries in the Minotaur. We already covered this in depth in the past, but if you go ahead and do so and actually get your champions in Minotaur runs and farm the entirety of their masteries through this, you are going to be ending up with about 1.2 million per champion that you farm their masteries on here, right? So if you put a team of 5 which has no masteries in here when it starts, by the time you get all the masteries leveled up, you're going to be ending up with about 5 million. Now, it's going to be taking a lot of time. It's going to be taking, I don't know how much energy that's going to be. I don't know, something like 10,000, whatever. It is insane. It takes a lot of time, but it is definitely worth doing because in the meantime, you're not just saving up a lot of gems, which you would otherwise be using for getting the masteries of those champions, but you are also basically generating free gear, right? You're not getting, not gear, right? Silver. You're not getting any gear out of this, and it's extremely boring, but at least you are getting that silver as well as the XP, right? If you are actually able to slot somebody in here, which is not yet full level, as you are farming the masteries, you can also get them pretty much fully leveled up. What is it, from like 5 stars level 1, you can get it almost all the way up to level 60, 6 stars by the point you got all the masteries farmed in here. If you got a full set of, I don't know how many people, I think it's like you're leveling up 4 champions here at the same time when you have a Minotaur farmer, right? Like one champion that's able to one-shot the Minotaur, which is unlikely to be the case. That's something that you are going to be facing yourself when you are really like in a point in the game that's like late game pretty much already. You got, I don't know, a Thor which can one-shot the Minotaur. And in the case, this is extremely tedious. There is no double reward thingy from doing this dungeon. You can only get like the base set of rewards. You cannot double the energy you're spending to get more stuff out of it. So it's slow, believe me, but it's definitely worth doing. The amount amount of silver you're going to be getting, as well as saving up a lot of gems, it is going to be a massive boost in efficiency. On the long run, you will definitely thank me. Now, once we finish this run over here, in the meantime, let's just talk about some things to not do about silver in this game. And number one is going to be to never buy any silver in the shop. Okay, no matter how juicy the deal looks like, buying silver is never going to be a good idea. You're never going to get a decent amount enough, no matter what amount of real money you're spending, so that it justifies doing it, right? You're always going to be getting a lot more out of the game in general if you actually get energy, right? So if you want to be increasing your silver intake somehow in this game, and you want to be putting money into it, then what you want to be doing is getting the energy refill daily pack, right? You're going to be getting a bunch of energy just randomly every day. Energy turns into a whole lot more silver, no matter how much money you're putting into the game, than if you're actually using that money to buy silver instead right away, right? It's going to be taking time to use that energy, of course, but if you go ahead and use the energy to campaign farm, you go ahead and use the energy to farm the Minotaur, no matter what you do with it, get gear, farm the Spider, it's always going to be turning into a lot more valuable stuff. More energy as well as just more gear, or no matter what you do, it's just going to be better overall for your account. XP as well as you're farming these things. Yeah, it's all advantages, right? So never put any amount of real money in this game into buying silver, right? Like, what are we getting here? 4.2 million silver for 1,400 gems? You know how much it takes to actually get that many gems in this game? Like, I don't even know where the gems... There we go, gem shop. Just buying gems in general, it is definitely not going to be worth it, no matter how you look at it. Next up in the list of don'ts about using silver or just like wasting silver, pretty obvious one, but if you are going to be using a champion in different scenarios, or you have a set of gear that you are going to be using in different champions, yeah, it's going to be costing you a whole lot of money. I'm sure you're well aware of this, but it's just not worth doing this, right? It's just not worth having a set of gear that is very, very damn good, and then you're gonna need to switch it from champion to champion in order to do different types of content. It's a massive silver sink. It just doesn't really, it's not worth whatsoever, outside of times where switching gear is free, which sometimes happen. Believe me, I really wish Plarium allowed us to do this like every single time. Now, there is a way of actually being able to switch this gear for free, and that is going to be to get the free gear removal tokens, right? You can get some, for example, from here in the Cursed City. There is some of those. You're going to be able to get them from also some events and stuff. It's going to be allowing you for a little time to be doing these switches, right? So if you really need to be doing so, save up these tokens, don't get them right away, and wait until you need, I don't know, 2 or 3 champions which you want to be rebuilding, switching the gears from them to do whatever else you want to be doing. Do it during those times, right? If you are going to be in need of switching the gear, then wait. Don't do it right away. It's worth taking the efficiency, doing it whenever it's going to be free, and that way you're saving up so much silver. This is more for like more experienced players, which really depend on certain sets and have very well built up sets, and champions that need to be getting that gear switched anyways. For me, as an entry level player, I kind of only did this once when I was really not using my Morrigan over here, and I decided to put the gear onto somebody else. For example, the Achak here that I tried on the Spider. But anyways, it's a way of actually saving silver. Now, over here is going to be the perfect screen to show you what I'm going to be talking about in the next tip of do not do with your silver, and that is to just randomly upgrade any amount of accessories right away without really putting some thought into it, right? Now, what I mean here is that accessories, for the most part, only come with a very, very simple and kind of useless in many times main stat, right? It's like a flat stat, attack, defense, HP. It's not really like, let's just say, accuracy, speed. Yep, good stuff on your gear, right? That's really going to be doing a difference. Crit rate, all that good stuff. Those really, really actually make a big difference for your champion. But when it comes to upgrading the rings and especially the necklaces, those main stats are not really going to be changing that much to your champions, right? So if you're going to be putting them all the way up to level 16, it is a lot more expensive to upgrade accessories than it is to upgrade just other pieces of gear, right? Like leveling it up to level 1, you cannot see it, but it's costing me already, what is it, actually only 900, right? It's nothing too crazy, but as you go up and up and up, it is going to be quite more expensive than doing any other random piece of gear. So you kind of really want to be making sure that you are putting your money where it's worth it, right? So if you got a really, really bad piece, which doesn't really have the best substats I could possibly have, for example, we have right here, we have an attack ring with defense and HP percentage, right? Does this make sense to you? A main stat that's offensive with 2 defensive stats. Where would I ever use this? Probably not here, right? So yeah, just be mindful that these kinds of things are a lot more costly, and you really want to be making sure that you are trying to maximize your chances of actually getting a good item, right? So for example, if it's a rare item, if you are going to be seeing a rare amulet, you can only see the 2 substats right away, right? You would rather go ahead and try and do that on an epic, of course, and definitely a legendary, so you can already see what 4 substats you have to make sure that it's not something that's going to be bombing you, right? If you are going to be upgrading your rare ring right here, okay, whatever, I like the stats that I see here, let's see what I get next. That is a lot of RNG, that's a lot of money you're putting into this accessory just for the chance of maybe getting something decent, right? Now, it's a little bit different if that accessory, for example, has some crit damage in here, like a necklace, or it's an accuracy banner, right? Accuracy, crit rate, or rather crit damage, definitely a lot more impactful to your champion if you're looking for those, so that is a little bit of an exemption. The main stat increasing on those 2 items in particular with those main stats is going to be a lot better. This also sort of applies to the weapon, helmet, and shield, where it's straight up just the same case. It is going to be also a flat stat, right? So you really kind of want to make sure that even though these items are a little bit less costly to upgrade, might as well make sure that the substats are decent and not just waste your money, because you're not really going to be getting anything crazy out of those. HP, attack, and defense, whatever. The difference is going to be making to your character is a lot lesser than if we are talking about speed boots, accuracy chests, or crit rate gloves, right? Let's put it like that. So just be mindful, do not just randomly upgrade garbage, trying to RNG into good substats. Try and be mindful and get some decent stuff before you actually upgrade it, because otherwise, unless you actually roll into decent substats, the main stat here is not going to be making much difference, and it's a gold sink. And finally, and really pretty much related to the same topic, is going to be to just straight up look at some guides for artifacts and know what's good, right? You do not want to be upgrading garbage. It's going to be the main silver sink in this game, and I know I've said gold already a couple times. I mean silver all the time. Just try to avoid stuff that has like flat stats on the gear. Like for example, let's just say I had some HP gloves right here. For example, look for something that is percentage based, right? If you're gonna be getting any stat things like attack, HP, defense, at least get it to be percentage, right? Any flat stats on your gloves, on your accessories, on your chest, on your boots, that is something to avoid, right? That is gear that is very, very bad. You basically never want to be having any boots that don't have speed on them. You ideally want to always pretty much be getting some accuracy on your chest, and more often than not, you're gonna be going for some crit rate, some crit damage, some attack percentage, some defense percentage, whatever like that on the gloves, right? So if you do not have any of those 3 pieces that I already mentioned, with those sorts of stats, if you do upgrade them, no matter what the substats are, the item is already a lot less worth it than it would already be before, right? And we're not even talking about sets over here. Sets are a whole different thing. So just checking out the main stats on these 3 pieces of gear is going to already be massively determining whether or not you're putting your money where it's worth, right? So look at some guides, make sure that you're not wasting your money on these things. Anyways, guys, hopefully those tips are really worth to you. Getting some more silver using the efficiency methods we already talked about, and definitely avoiding doing some very, very bad habits that we already also covered, right? So as we already mentioned before you go, please go ahead and check it out if you haven't done so yet. Massive upgrade in terms of efficiency where using your money in Raid Shadow Legends. So picture that I'm going to be buying this pack with Aptoide. If I am using Aptoide and downloaded Raid Shadow Legends through Aptoide and do this purchase, I'm going to be able to get an extra bonus that can go from 10% of my money all the way up to extra 35%, right? So this number right here could be a lot bigger if you accumulate more and more purchases. And the good thing about this number right here is that when you do have enough of it in your wallet, by the way, right here, I do have a little bit of it, you are going to be able to go ahead and use that much money excuse me, the bonuses that you already accumulated to buy the things for you instead of actually using your real money, right? So you are saving up in future purchases as you accumulate the cashbacks, and in turn eventually are able to afford more things literally for free when you are buying things that you would otherwise be buying anyways if you're a spender in Raid Shadow Legends. You can download and set up this thing real damn easy by following the link down there in the description. It's going to be a video where it explains how to set it up on your Android phone, as well as like an Android emulator on your PC like BlueStacks. Doesn't work on iOS, unfortunately. And also, if you want to go ahead and using my code, it's going to be somewhere here up in the screen, you're going to be able to get an even bigger bonus, a 5% flat increase on that bonus number from the get-go, so you could start earning even bigger bonuses, right? So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about it. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. See you.